What's up, everyone? It's Nick McCullum here, and in this video, we're going to be working through the practice problems for comments, operations, and variables from my Python Fundamentals course. Now, before we get started, be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can get all of my future videos showing you how to become a better software developer. So, with that out of the way, let's dig in. Problem 1 says, create a comment that says, this is my first comment. Now, comments are a really important part of software development, so make sure you understand this topic first. As we saw in the lesson associated with this video, comments in Python start with the hash character, which is this, the hashtag or number sign. It has a number of different use cases. So if we want to create a comment that says, this is my first comment, you put the hash character, and then you simply write, this is my first comment. And we're done. Problem 2 says, create a multi-line comment that says, this is the first line on the first line, and this is the second line on the second line. Now, we saw that with the hash character, we can create a comment in Python, but if you look at this problem, the hash character only works for one line. So if we try to do this, this is the first line, and then on the second line, right, this is the second line. You can tell by the syntax highlighting on the second line that that's not actually a comment. Python's going to actually think that's code, and if we go to run this, we're going to get an error. As you can see, it says invalid syntax for that text on the second line. So what's the solution? There are two things we can do to fix this. We can either use the hash character on both lines like that, and that's fine for 2 or 3 or multi-line comments that don't have many lines. But if we're putting in paragraphs of comments, the easiest thing to do is to use the triple quote syntax. So that looks like this. You put quote, 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 and as you can see, my Jupyter notebook has already filled in the closing quotes. And then you can just push the enter key a few times, and anything that you put between the first triple quote and the last triple quote will all be considered a comment. So we can write, this is the first line, and then on the second line we can write, this is the second line. And you can see, since it's kind of all highlighted in red like this, that Python is correctly interpreting that as a comment. Now, one last thing on multi-line comments. If you wanted to take away these triple quotes, there is actually an easy way within Jupyter Notebook to make this all one comment. What you would do is you would highlight all this text like that, and then if you push command /, it will automatically comment everything you have highlighted. And that also works, so let's uncomment that with command /. That also works if you just had, say, your cursor is on a line like this, you can comment out the whole line with command /, or if you had all of the second line highlighted and then just a little bit of the first line, you can also comment that out with command /. So that's a nice little hotkey in Jupyter Notebook that will allow you to create multi-line comments a little bit faster. Let's move on to problem 3. So this is a problem that's kind of designed to test all of the basic Python arithmetic that we discussed in the lesson. So we'll kind of just work through these one by one and execute the code cells as we go through them. So it says perform the following operations in the cell blocks below. Add 2 and 3. Okay, so this is pretty easy. We saw that we can add integers in Python using the plus sign, which is unsurprising. We do 2 plus 3, we run the code block, and we get 5. Excellent. Now, it says add 2, 3, 5, and 7. So 2 plus 3. And as we saw in the lesson, you can actually just chain the plus sign together as long as you need to. So we can do plus 5, plus 7, and we get back 17. Awesome. Now, subtract 3 from 10. Just like how we can use the plus sign to do addition, we can use the minus sign to do subtraction. So we do 10 minus 3, and we get back 7. Awesome. Now, multiply 3 by 7. You might think in Python, since we use plus for addition and we use minus for subtraction, that we might use x for multiplication. Now, that's actually not the case, and I see a lot of novice Python developers make that mistake. Instead, we use the asterisk, which looks like that, and it is Shift 8 on most keyboards. So to multiply 3 by 7, we do 3 times 7, and we should get back 21. Awesome. Now, we want to multiply 4 by 7, and then multiply that product by 4 for the next portion of this question. So just like with the other arithmetic operators that we saw so far, you can chain together the multiplication sign as long as you need. So we can do 4 times 7 times 4, and what do we get back? 112. Awesome. Divide 64 by 8. The division sign in Python is actually not that. Some people would guess that it is, but that's actually the operation for modulus, which we'll see later. If we want to divide 64 by 8, we use the / like this. 64 divided by 8. We get back 8. And that makes sense because 8 times 8 is 64. Perfect. Now for the next question, we want to, oh, sorry, I just went into the markdown that makes that problem. We want to raise 3 to the power of 10. Now, to do exponents in Python, many people would guess that it would be this, but that's actually not the case. Exponents are done with the double asterisk like this. 3 to the power of 10, and we get 59,049. Awesome. Determine the remainder when 18 is divided by 4. So a little bit ago I mentioned the modulus operator, and basically what that means is how many integers are left over after you divide one number by another. So I'll do a couple examples here, and then I'll show you the syntax for this in Python. So if a number perfectly divides into another number, like 16 divided by 4, this would be modulus 0, because they perfectly divide into each other. Now, if you go one number higher than that, 17 divided by 4, well, you have a remainder of 1 because you get 16 divides evenly into 4, and then there's one number left over. So this would be mod 1 rather. You go up one more, you get mod 2, and then one more after that, and you get mod 3, etc. So the easy way to calculate this number here, the modulus, is using what's called the remainder operator. And if we do 19, and then that symbol, which is shift 5 on most keyboards, 4, we will get back 3, the remainder. Now, what did the question actually ask? Determine the remainder when 18 is divided by 4. So we do 18 mod 4 is 2. And that's the end of problem 3. Problem 4 says, create a variable named myVariable and assign it the value of 4. Overwrite this variable by assigning it the new value of this is the new value. So in Python, creating variables is very easy. So all we have to do is just write the name of the variable, my_variable, and then use the assignment operator, which is the equal sign, to tell us what value needs to be assigned to that variable. So myVariable equals 4 has assigned that variable the value of 4. And if you want to pause a second, print this, we get 4 because that's the value that has been assigned to myVariable. Okay, so that's the first part of problem 4. Run that code block again, and then the second part says overwrite this variable by assigning it the new value of this is the new value. So we just do the same thing again, except instead of saying equals 4, we will say equals this is the new value. And since I've wrapped this in quotation marks, this implies that this is a string and not a number or some other data structure. And then if we run that and go to print my_variable, it'll print out obviously the new value. Okay, so that's problem 4. Problem 5 says create variables named true_boolean and false_boolean and assign them the values of true and false respectively. Okay, so we'll start with true boolean. True_boolean is equal to, now try and guess, is this going to be true with a lowercase t or is it going to be true with an uppercase T? That's an important distinction and I'll show you why. So if we do uppercase T true, the code runs successfully and then we can print it and it'll show the true boolean value. Oops, typo. Sorry, it would help if I could spell. All right, print true boolean, we get back true, just like you'd expect. Now what happens if we do with lowercase t? We will actually get back an error because the proper syntax for a true or false boolean is always with an uppercase on the first letter. So true boolean is true and false_boolean should be false with an uppercase F right here. Okay, so that's the practice problems for the comments operation and variables section. Thanks for watching this video, and in the next section we'll discuss more important Python topics. I will see you there.